Hey guys, I'm Ernie The Realist, and I'm here to talk to you about what I saw in The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. So as you guys may have remembered if you've been following the site for a while, you probably remember this is one of the first movies that I reviewed, and I spoke very favorably of The Hobbit, The Unexpected Journey, despite the fact that it suffered from a lot of problems. This film is kind of the same thing. In this movie, we pick up where our group left off. They're still on the run from Azog the Defiler. They're still trying to get towards the Lonely Mountain so they can fulfill the prophecy of Thorin Oakenshield, who is supposed to go in and take out Smaug, but they need Bilbo Baggins' help to take care of business because, well, to be completely honest, Smaug doesn't know the smell of hobbits. And that's pretty much the story in a nutshell for the most part. I'm not really going to go into a lot about the different actors and things like that because we have pretty much the same cast. The only thing I'm really going to focus in on is some of the new additions to this particular film. One thing I do want to talk about is Lee Pace, who plays Thranduil. I mean, yeah, of course, he was in the last movie, but he really didn't have a whole lot of weight in his role, so you really didn't get to know his character any at all. In this movie, I mean, it's kind of crazy, and I hate coming off this way, but there are parts of this movie where it almost looks like he's auditioning for the Final Fantasy VII live-action movie so he can be Sephiroth. That's kind of what I'm getting the whole time. I mean, he's a really cool character, though. I mean, he's really calm, he's cool, he's collected, though you can tell this guy has some mental instabilities. It just shows in him. He also comes off as a real asshole, especially when you match him up with the characters of Legolas, not in the book, and Tauriel, made up for the movie. Both these characters, of course, Legolas played by Orlando Bloom, Tauriel played by Evangeline Lilly, and these characters work well for what they're supposed to do here. Their chemistry, especially the chemistry between all three of these characters, including Thranduil, it's really good. It works. But I felt like they were in a completely different movie than the movie we were actually watching. As for the addition of the characters that weren't really there or the ones made up for the movie, the only thing I can really say to them is that at least they kept them in the action sequences where it actually counted to keep things interesting. Tauriel, on the other hand, works really well, but my problem with her being there is that they're trying to interject that age-old classic love triangle thing and the star-crossed lovers deal. It just doesn't work for me. The movie still has that kids film vibe, which is really what the books were supposed to have and do. They are more of a children's tale than the epic that is Lord of the Rings, and as a result, when you watch this movie, you'll probably be thinking, or at very least be reminded of other movies like Pirates of the Caribbean, which isn't a bad thing. There's also some other really cool sequences in here, like there's the barrel scene, which is very well translated from the books. The real scene stealer here is Smaug, and it goes without saying, it's his fucking movie. I'm very much reminded of the scene in The Unexpected Journey when Bilbo meets Gollum for the Riddles in the Dark segment. It's very much the same thing, and I wish they would have given Smaug a little bit more screen time with Bilbo. These guys played off each other very well, which is no small surprise, considering the fact that both Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch, who both played Bilbo and Smaug respectively, worked together on Sherlock on the BBC. So it makes no really big surprise that this is what's going on here. But I really like the way these guys play off each other. I mean, they do a really good job, and I really want to applaud Benedict Cumberbatch, who also does the voice of the Necromancer, who does finally make a full-on appearance in the film. All of that aside, I gotta admit, the movie, of course, runs a little long after a while, and I don't want to make that obvious pun that because there's a dragon in the movie that the film is kind of dragging. It can't help but be said. Another thing I'm not particularly fond of is during the segment with Bilbo and Smaug, they break up those scenes a lot by flashing back and forward between what's going on with Gandalf and the Necromancer and also what's going on with the dwarves who remained behind. And everything works, but the problem is they pick the wrong spots to join everything up, and it just really makes the entire third act of the film seem rather disconnected. All in all, I still enjoyed this film. I had a great time with it. I think you'll have a great time with it. The movie is absolutely positively stunning. Special effects and everything look top-notch. still not incredibly sold on those CGI orcs, and it's almost starting to get into Star Wars prequel territory there. But overall, I think they did a really good job with this film, and I'm going to go ahead and say that though I enjoyed this movie a lot more than when I did The Unexpected Journey, it still suffers from some problems, so I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars, which is the equivalent of getting the Blu-ray. So guys, you tell me, if you were in an epic showdown with a dragon, who would you rather have by your side? Would you rather have the dwarves? Would you rather have the elves? Or heck, would you rather have an army of trees? Thank you guys for checking this video out. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.